Are you looking for simple family traditions to do that are seasonal? Are you looking for simple rhythms that you can do with your young children? Hi, I'm Melissa from Raising Playful Tots, and today I have some snippets from a recent podcast show all about simple traditions and simple rhythms that we can do with young children. I hope you'll listen along and enjoy what we've got here. It's an audio podcast, and so you can subscribe by going to raisingplayfultots.com/iTunes page if you want to subscribe through iTunes. If not, you can listen on the page there at raisingplayfultots.com. Enjoy! What spring and autumn traditions do you have in your family?
Little hikes just around our kind of urban neighborhood. And recently we've also had a spring festival at school, and everyone brought jasmine and ivy, and we've gone apple picking. Bring them home and then start finding as many recipes for apples that we can and cook away. My mom was really good at helping us kids to kind of go out into nature and collect and explore and then make art. My mom was really good at helping us kids to kind of go out into nature and collect and explore and then make art. That was only once a year, but that's, one of my fondest childhood memories. So definitely these little things are what will probably stand out in the future for your kids.
What type of things do you do in your TV-free home? Now, I mentioned that in the very beginning when I introduced you, that you transitioned to a TV-free home. And people often have an impression of people who have no TVs in their home and wonder what they actually get up to. That's what they'd probably really like to ask you. So I thought that it would be nice if you could share what type of things do you do in your TV-free home?
Yeah, it's such a big question, and it's so funny because my daughter was digging up all the garden, which was okay. And I know they like playing with mud and it's good for them, but I also, wanted a little bit of my garden, and so we did dig out a pretty big sand pit for them, and that they spend a lot of time there. French children kind of will do their baking all by themselves. And I had always done baking and cooking with my kids and involved them in it. But because they can't read, I couldn't exactly put them to work at a recipe. So I was inspired kind of by a chapter in that book, and I drew a recipe for my son. And so the recipe is as follows, but you'll have to kind of draw each set of ingredients and then explain them to your child. I think probably from 4 up, they could really kind of look at the recipe and be able to follow it. And it's
So how do you decide on your rhythms that you follow in your home? Because after all, your work is called Whole Family Rhythms and this whole family. So
they're very kind of nature-based and artistically inspired rhythms. Yeah, our rhythm is constantly evolving and changing based on the kids' needs and also my needs. And there's a theme for each day, so that it does give them an idea. I mean, they're quite young, so they don't really understand the days of the week and time in general and how it all works. So having a day like a baking day, a painting day, a coloring day, it kind of just gives them this little sense of understanding. Okay, that's what we're doing today. That's kind of going to be a little bit of the focus. Yeah, so Whole Family Rhythms was kind of born of me making these seasonal charts for myself and my kids, trying to constantly establish and figure out what our family rhythm was. And I kind of just knew there was a bit of a demand for people to see what other people do and then to create something of their own based on that. I was always scouring the internet for routines for this age to that age and, activities for this age to that age. And you kind of see all these beautiful Waldorf blogs or nature-based blogs with activities that they do with their kids. But then you wonder how you're going to kind of fit it in to
Yes.
your our very busy lives and schedules. And so,
You have managed to find this way of parenting because we all have our own parenting styles and it takes a little while to kind of ease into our own little comfy slippers about it. So I'm just curious to how you found your feet as a mother exploring and establishing your family way.
yeah, it's just it's it's the journey. It's
Yes.
not.
Yes, you're so right. And I'm really glad that you could share that part with us because I think that it can be hard when we're trying to make changes, and the struggle of changing from where we are to changing to what we want to be can be really disheartening to ourselves. We can feel
Mhm,
really down and low, and we tend to almost beat up ourselves with that we're not doing so good and we're doing everything badly, and we're not, but we are struggling, and a struggle is good. We're trying to find our right balance right now for our family, and that's
mhm.
you've shared that really well.
Is really into taking all of her real clothes, not her costumes, out of the drawer and trying them on, 6 to 8 times a day, and taking them off and leaving them all in a pile on on her floor. That's kind of what she's into right now. She says she's a fairy,
Okay.
no matter what she's putting on. And together they play a lot of kind of imaginary stuff like doggies and a little bit of mamas and dadas and
Learn and laugh together about making the most of early childhood playtime. Thanks for listening to the snippets of Raising Playful Tots podcast. I hope you'll come along and listen to the rest of the show and find out more shows that will be able to help you with your early childhood play.